Hi, this is Congressman Glenn Ivey. I'm really astonished and disappointed that the Trump administration continues to refuse to bring back Mr. Garcia from El Salvador. It's clear that the government made a mistake. In fact, they admitted it. So he's being held illegally. The government has the authority to bring him back. President Trump can use the extradition authority that the United States have, or use the contractual relationship that we have with El Salvador. We're paying them $6 million. We can get him back whenever we want. At this point, I'm just assuming that they're scared to bring him back because they'll have to go to court and explain all of the false statements that they've apparently made about him. So we'll just keep pushing. We'll keep fighting. We'll keep pressuring the Trump administration, the Attorney General, the Secretary of State, and others to do the right thing, bring him back so he gets the day in court that the Supreme Court said that he should have. Take care.
Listen to that. This is what is going on with the Democrat Party. They are wanting to bring back somebody who is not supposed to be in this country, because he isn't. He's a citizen of El Salvador. He is a known MS-13 member. And yet the Democrats and their propaganda arm continuously lie about that. Now, while all of this is going on, we have a Marine by the name of Robert Gilman, 30 years old, of Massachusetts, sitting in a prison in Russia. Do you hear the Democrats, for that matter, do you hear the Republicans talking about bringing back this well, he may not be a Republican. I mean, yes, he served in my beloved Corps, but the things that he did not necessarily lend themselves to be something that a Republican would do. He's someone who went over to foreign countries and are teaching them English. And the Russian government has been using him as a political pawn. And what has this government done for him? Nothing. Where are the Republicans screaming for an American citizen who served this country with honor? Where are they at on this? Where are the Democrats? The Democrats are so bent on pulling in a terrorist, because MS-13 is listed as a terrorist organization. And Kilmar Abrego Garcia is a known member of MS-13. He is a known citizen of El Salvador. The El Salvadorian government took back one of their citizens. It doesn't matter whether he was MS-13 or not. Guess what? He's not even supposed to be in this country. He's back in his home country, and whatever that they want to do with their citizen, they can do. But who's taking care of our citizens? Let's get into this a little bit more.
Howdy, y'all. This is Paul, the Redneck Thinker. What we have here is a channel to communicate. I want you folks to be thinking by the time you leave my videos. Why? Because I'm tired of people talking via what other people tell them to think. So, watch my video and enjoy the chance to think for yourself.
Robert Gilman's sister, Lexi Hudson, joins me right now. Thank you so much for coming on. I'm so sorry for what you and the family are going through. This is an unimaginable situation. Talk to us about, do you know how Robert is doing, what his condition is, and when was the last time you heard from him?
Oh, thank you so much, first of all, for having me here. I'm in disbelief that I'm even able to talk to you. This is such a huge deal for my family to be able to get our message out here for my brother and for him not to be left behind again. So I'm sorry, I forgot the question. What was the question?
No, that's okay.
Again?
Do you know how your brother's doing, when the last time you spoke to him was?
So the last time I spoke to my brother was over 3.5 years ago. We haven't been able to have any contact with him, no phone calls, nothing like that. So I have no idea. The U.S. Embassy did see him across a crowded courtroom where he looked disoriented. But but we don't know.
Yeah, we're showing photos of him videos of him right now. You said you haven't gotten the response that you needed, essentially. What was the response when you reached out to the Biden administration? Because I believe it was, March of 2023, almost 2 years ago, you had asked to have your brother designated as wrongfully detained. What's the response that you got from the Biden administration?
Oh, so far from the Biden administration, they just give us the runaround. They give us the generic answers, that they're working, on the cases. We've asked if there's anything more they need, what we can do. They haven't told us how we can help. They also, we asked them why he hasn't been designated, and they would not share that with us either. We even specifically asked if we could maybe speak to the to Special Envoy Bowler, and they said no, that we have to, basically go through them. So, and they haven't done anything for my brother so far.
And that's what's so concerning, because he is the third U.S. Marine veteran detained in Russia. So you have both Trevor Reed, Paul Whelan, they were freed in prisoner swap deals. It's confusing why your brother is treated differently, unless there's something about the case and the charges that are different. Have you heard anything from the Trump administration? Have they reached out to you?
No, they have not reached out to us. And that's what I'm actually really worried about. Because it seems that with the Biden administration, right, they focused on like the high profile cases and the cases that had political connections. But, we're regular people. So that's not the case for us. And I know that President Trump is the type of person that does care about working people. And so does Secretary Rubio. But I'm just really worried that the State Department's not going to get the message to them that my brother's still there and that we still need help. So they don't know that we need help.
So I'm going to give you the platform right now in case anybody from the Trump administration is watching this. If they say, they're looking at this and they say, your brother broke Russian law, he deserves to be detained. Your response to that, your response to the Trump administration that you want to get out right now.
So my brother, he allegedly kicked the police officer when he was vomiting, and the police officer testified that he was not injured, that he did not want to press charges, and charges were still pressed against my brother. He has been tortured in prison. They've even told him that they sent a hit squad to my family's home, and my dad was now in a wheelchair. So my brother has been in prison thinking that our father's in a wheelchair because of his, because he's in prison. And we haven't been able to tell him that that's not the case because we can't speak to him. So I ask, please, for your help to bring my brother home. He's an English teacher. He became an English teacher because he loves this country. And he became a Marine because he loves this country. And I just really want him to know that this country loves him too, and that we have not forgotten him, and he'll be home with us.
Lexi Hudson, thank you so much for coming on. Thank you for delivering that message, and I am hoping that someone from the administration is listening. Thank you so much for taking the time, and we're sending our best to you and the family.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.
You heard that. We have a man who, let's get into it. Okay, Robert Gilman, 30-year-old resident of Massachusetts, born into a family that prized learning and service. He served in the Marine Corps, also founded Robert Gilman Just English to help students in Poland build their English skills to adapt to new environments. His students adored him and nicknamed him Captain America. Robert loves to travel and learn, so he invested in obtaining his Bachelor of Science in Cybersecurity. His older sister is also an English instructor and talks fondly about how her brother has always been her protector, despite being the younger sibling. Okay, so here's what happened. November 2021, Robert was on his way to a new teaching job in Moldova. He had already established a teaching business in Poland and was pursuing this as a career after the time in the Corps. While transitioning through Moscow, Robert became ill and had to spend time recuperating before traveling onward. While recovering, he realized his luggage and passport had been tampered with, and he had to replace missing passport pages before he could travel onward. So, see, they were planning this. They were setting him up. Robert turned the misfortune of his illness into an opportunity to visit extended family outside of Moscow. On January 17, 2022, on his way back to Moscow to have his passport repaired at the U.S. Embassy, he became violently ill again. Instead of helping him, police hit him with the baton and he was taken to a police station. He was vomiting and falling, most likely due to a concussion. Russian police tried to restrain him, and his leg accidentally hit one of the police officers' shins. They took him into custody, where prosecutors began to charge him with a series of vague and escalating charges. He has now been sentenced 4.5 years, despite the unharmed police officer stating that Robert should not be charged for kicking him. In prison, he was goaded into additional actions and related charges through forced druggings, provocations, and torture, including forced exercise for 16 hours and 6 months in an extreme punishment cell. These escalating charges are meant to set him up to politicize his case. This is all coming from freerobertgilman.com. This is what's going on with an American citizen while the Democrats are worried about this terrorist. So let's hear from Carolyn Levitt on this terrorist.
Still going off the El Salvador questions, yesterday in the Oval Office, administration officials made it very clear that El Salvador is responsible for Mr. Abrego Garcia, yet El Salvador's president said we're not going to do anything with him. So my question is, who is responsible for this man and where he's going to end up?
Well, no. First of all, President Bukele said that he is not going to smuggle a foreign terrorist back into the United States of America, as many in this room in the Democrat Party seemingly want him to do. Abrego Garcia was a foreign terrorist. He is an MS-13 gang member. He was engaged in human trafficking. He illegally came into our country. And so deporting him back to El Salvador was always going to be the end result. There is never going to be a world in which this is an individual who's going to live a peaceful life in Maryland, because he is a foreign terrorist and a MS-13 gang member. Not only have we confirmed that, President Bukele yesterday in the Oval Office confirmed that as well. So he went back to his home country, where he will face consequences for his gang affiliation and his engagement in human trafficking. I'm not sure what is so difficult about this for everyone in the media to understand, and it's appalling, truly appalling, that there has been so much time covering this alleged human trafficker and this gang member, MS-13 gang member. It's truly striking to me.
I think that it is time that we get our nation's priorities straight. These Democrats, their media, all of that are constantly defending criminals and terrorists while we have American citizens being left behind. I am tired of this. I really am. We have to get Gilman back. We have to quit having a culture that helps terrorists and criminals. It needs to end. Let me tell you something. Robert Gilman, a fellow Marine, does not deserve what is being done to him. Now, you have idiots that, we don't. What did they do to get back an actual criminal? Because Brittany Griner broke crime, or actually committed crimes. Okay, did she mean to do it? Probably not. She probably didn't understand what she was doing, and I'm not saying that she's stupid. I'm saying in America, we have a privileged culture here in America. It doesn't matter what your skin color is. Quit talking skin color. It doesn't matter what your skin color is in this country. If you were born and raised here, you have a privilege. Sounds stupid, especially to the liberal elite who say, "Oh, well, if you're black, you're downtrodden." No, you're not. If you're in America, you live a far better life than any other nation. So, Brittany Griner thought because it was legal what she was doing here in the U.S., she could take it elsewhere. Honestly, even though I'm a University of Tennessee Vols fan, I love Pat Head Summit and what Brittany Griner and Baylor did to them in Summit's last season. Not thrilled with them. And yes, that's a sports reference, but I don't actually care about Brittany Griner. Other than the fact that, hey, she actually broke the laws. We traded a gun runner, somebody who was well connected to Putin, somebody who is responsible for the death of a lot of people. I don't even want to begin to try to fathom how many people this man has helped make sure died. But here's the situation. She was freed to put the merchant, that merchant feller, back into Russia's hands so that Russia could make more money. We've gotten back other people from Russia, but we have a U.S. Marine who was taken, is being used as a political pawn, somebody who not only served our nation, but has gone around and is teaching people. Hey, he's done nothing but honorable things in his life. This needs to end. He needs to come back, and we need to stop trying to get people back that we don't need in this country. End of story. Who should we have, a terrorist or a Marine, back in this country? I'm telling you, I'm going for the Marine. If you don't like it, I could care less. You can kiss my posterior if you don't think that Robert Gilman should not be back here. Because that's what I have to say on that matter. This has been Paul, Redneck Thinker. Y'all have a good day. So, folks, that's the story that I wanted to bring you on this video. And I just wanted to say thank you again for coming by. Hit like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff if you don't mind. Help me out. So, y'all have a good day now. Bye.